Good morning, everyone. I'm Kathy Hazel Adams, and thank you for joining me today. First of all, if there's any echo going on in the sound, I apologize. It's because I'm having to use my computer microphone instead of my good Yeti microphone. For some reason, since all of this solar activity, the two haven't been syncing up, and my audio and video have been out of sync. So this is the only way I can get a good synchronized video for you. Today, I just wanted to talk with you briefly about, well, first of all, to see how you're doing. This is a week, as I had posted a few days ago, to integrate all of the light codes that were downloaded to us in this last solar storm that came right before Easter, that G4 solar storm. And I just am checking in to see how you're doing. This is a week of integration, so you may have and you may be experiencing all kinds of different things, whether physically or in your perceptions, maybe more direct perception of energetic idea information going on around you, that fourth dimensional awareness. You may be having physical symptoms. I've had a couple. You can't, with this, you cannot make yourself integrate it. You cannot, your ego cannot take over and say, this is what I'm going to do this week and this is who I am. The whole thing is to give yourself to it, to accept the upgrades and updates and allow them to integrate and allow the updated new way of thinking, feeling, and understanding the world and yourself and your place in it, and beyond the world, the multiverse. You're literally upgrading your thinking and feeling and understanding of yourself, your identity, the reality construct that you're in, and how multidimensional you really are. That's the other thing I wanted to talk with you about today. Navigating this 5D transition while we're still walking around in a 3D world. You may have seen on YouTube, because I've seen it in a couple different places, one at least I guess on GFL station, that well, the split has already taken place. There's already a new Earth. And I just wanted to say a couple of words about that. First of all, there is no such thing as time. So the new Earth has always existed. The higher vibrational version of the Earth and our place on it as the human species has always existed. There's no time. Second of all, I and you and many others like us have been actually consciously in our meditation probably, and even unconsciously and subconsciously, creating and inhabiting, more inhabiting and vibrating with that new version of human consciousness in a physical earth, the physical earth construction. We've been creating it in our meditation. We've been inhabiting it. We've been feeling it. We've been seeing it. And then, of course, you turn on the TV and see what's going on, or you walk out on the street and see something. And so that's that navigating the 5D versus 3D. So first of all, I'll remind you, I've said this in other videos, we are actually here as the transition team. We're here to have, I'll say we have been here and still are, depending on where we are, 1 foot in the 3D and 1 foot in the new. And we're creating the new and inhabiting it, but also often dipping back, and there's nothing wrong with that, having a foot in the 3D and blending it, learning to blend it and integrate it. A step within that, as I've said in the last couple of videos, is the 4D awareness, where you start becoming more and more consciously aware of the idea information that is energy. It's not dead energy. Information is held in consciousness. So the idea information held in our consciousness, which is God consciousness, more aware of that in ourselves, in everyone around us, in everything in our environment. So becoming more aware of that, less needing the physical to translate and tell us what's going on. So I've talked about that. So the thing is what I am finding, you can be in the 5th dimension now, and many of you are, and you can actually start having a foot not even in both. You may have been, I have been, feeling almost like this split still being physical in the 3D, but also inhabiting and seeing it and feeling it the 5D, because we're multidimensional. And what happens is you start to expand your consciousness so you can be aware of yourself in both at the same time, assimilated. The thing is that it's not a separate physical place. It's a higher vibrational version of the same information, which in a way makes it different information, but it's not a different physical earth. If you have been experiencing this, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, we're pinging open a portal for you here. Yes, you're still living in the house that looks like your house with the tree in your backyard. And though you're living aware of yourself in the 5D, the higher dimension. And what that means is the rules that you live by or are limited to have changed. You're no longer bound by physical laws and rules. And Seth said that. He didn't even use the word ascension, but he used that word that you transcend where you're not even bound anymore by the physical laws and rules. So you're still walking around where the people, many around you, are still limiting themselves to the physical laws and rules. And I'll give you more explanation to that in just a moment, a concrete explanation. But the people around you, for the most part, are still living by those 3D physical rules. They see you, you see them, and you aren't bound by those same rules and stipulations anymore. So you are 5D inhabiting the still, to a large degree, 3D world. Think about it. That's what Jesus did, right? He was 5D. He was the upper end of that fifth dimensional consciousness, that higher octave, where he knew he was God. He knew who he was. He was completely not bound by physical law, hence his miracles. But he was walking around, right, in the 3D world, and helping those who were still hallucinating that they're bound by those rules or agreeing to be bound by those rules. So let me give you a couple of concrete examples because it just seems like they're just so simple and clear. So it's almost like you've been playing 3D chess, and then you raise in your vibration and your awareness, and you're aware that there's a whole other dimension or two of chess, to where those who are still, if you were, and those who are still playing 3D, you only have these pieces and they can only move this way under these circumstances, right? And only certain pieces can do certain things. I'm not a chess player. So now you have all kinds of not only physical other moves you can make, but you can create pieces out of the ether. You can create pieces out of the fourth and fifth dimension, just whole new pieces. You can change wherever things were sitting in you can go into the other dimension of it and shift where they are. And like, that's part of the rules now. That's part of what the other player would know you can do, for instance. You can make pieces disappear and then reappear. And again, it would be in an environment, pardon me, where the other player would be aware that you can do that. And that becomes part of the game. And I'm not saying the physical is just, that what we're doing here is just a game. We're here to learn. But point is, that's a good analogy. It's like, there's a whole bunch of other possibilities that you just hadn't been aware of when you were still holding yourself to this little set of rules. Another example would be, I know many of you have had out of body and astral travel. I certainly have, one way or another, we all do. In astral travel, if you want to go visit a friend that's on the other side of town, let's say, instead of having to get on your bicycle or in your car and drive to the corner and take a turn and do all these physical things to get there, in astral travel, you just think yourself there and you're there, right? It's like that. There's a whole other realm of possibilities. You no longer have to go through the sludgy physical steps to get to where you want to be. There, you've introduced a lot of other possibilities that make things happen very quickly and seemingly magically. And again, as Bashar and everyone, Abraham, everyone says, you don't have to worry about the how. It just has to be your intention. And don't even worry about the how details. And of course, if you have inspiration and an urge to take some 3D physical step to facilitate it, by all means, of course, do that. That's part of it. But you're just working with a lighter touch and with more dimensionality of creative possibilities than we had in this sludgy 3D. Another example that most of you might be familiar with, if you've read any of the Harry Potter books, how when they're at the train station to go off to Hogwarts, oh, they're in a 3D physical train station. There are other people there. They see the people see them. But whereas the other people have to get on this train and do this and this and this, they just go through a portal and to where they needed to be. So you're interacting in the same physical environment, but you're doing it from a whole other level of understanding and possibility. So if you see these YouTubes that say, oh, it's already happened, you don't have to feel like, oh my golly, I missed my boat or something like that. No, you are there. If you're watching this, you've already made the choice. You've already helped create or vibrate in that new earth, that split. And you have the ability now to choose to start being more there in the 5D while you are still interacting with 3D physicality and people that are still resonating in 3D physicality. You don't have to stay there. You can give yourself to your updated fifth dimensional version of yourself with the fifth dimensional awarenesses and perceptions and understandings. And again, I can't stress this enough. It's an acceptance, it's an allowance, it's a desire to lift into your fifth dimensional higher octave self. You do not try to do it. You do not make it happen. You cannot force it. That's very 3D. That's the old get in the car to drive instead of, be there astrally just by thinking it. And also, I don't think I need to clarify this for you, but I want to reiterate. Some people think that if you ascend, that means you're dying, you're leaving the physical world. No, you're again inhabiting it at a different, higher level and vibration. You are still physical. Jesus was still physical. The higher end of the upper octave, or the fifth dimension, Paul Selig's guides say, are the highest vibration you can hold and still be physical. After that, you move up more into the sixth dimension and up, and then you're in and out of the physical. You're so aware in the informational idea energy, but you still can come into the physical for the experience and to do things in physical, but you're not even completely physical anymore. And of course, Jesus was obviously right there on that edge too. So anyway, I just wanted to share all that with you. I would love to hear your comments and your questions, what you're experiencing this week. I'll remind you that I do live Spirit Talks 2 Sunday afternoons out of the month. My next one will be on Sunday, I believe, April 27th. 2025 at 4 p.m. Eastern via Zoom. These are free, or donate what you wish. We'll be talking more about this fourth dimensional awareness, and probably also more about this navigating being in the third dimension while being in the fifth dimension kind of thing. So I hope you'll join me, and I am still available for private one-on-one sessions. So I'll leave my website in the link below, and actually in the corner of the screen, www.kathyhazeladams.com. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to hearing from you and hearing how you're processing through all of this. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.